everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name's Molly and I'm currently going through the process of reviewing and reacting to the Netflix horror series The Haunting of Hill House. I'm about to start episode 4 today. I did the first 3 episodes shortly before Thanksgiving. It was just Thanksgiving, the holiday in the United States. But then because of the holidays I got a little busy, so I had to take a couple of days off. And honestly, I've been waiting to see what happens next because I'm extremely interested in the show right now. So I'm very excited to get going with episode 4, see where we progress. We have 2 siblings left to cover. As I mentioned previously, the episodes seem to be following one sibling at a time. The first with Steven, second with Shirley, and then Theo. So I'm just guessing that probably Nelly will be saved for the last of the siblings, considering everything that has happened to her so far. So this is hopefully probably going to be the Luke episode. So I'm really curious to see a little bit more about the twins' dynamic. I'm curious to find out some more about his addiction because that's been hinted at by pretty much everybody so far in the first few episodes. And I'm interested to see how the story of the house itself continues to develop by talking about his experiences. I felt that the 3rd episode really kind of pushed that forward quite a bit because of Theo's ability to really see things in the house that others could not. We really got a bit of a stronger idea of exactly how much ghost activity is going on at the house by getting to look at things from her point of view. So I'm just, as I said, excited to see what happens next. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Let's go.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
This house is bad, Dad. It's bad.
Boy, oh boy, we could have a heck of a yard sale, guys.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Nelly?
That's weird. She was just here.
Oh, it's okay. I just thought she might like these cool old buttons I found upstairs.
Ooh.
You got me, my little Houdini. Look.
Whoa.
Can I have the hat?
I think it's too big for you, honey.
A little old man hat.
You'll grow into it. That is a big
Honestly,
boy hat, all right.
seeing all
this?
of her,
Well, you are a big
the
boy
mother,
now. You know,
name
big
is,
boys, they know
Olivia,
the difference between
seeing
what's
all
real
of
and
her
what's
interactions with the different
So what do you
kids
say, champ?
is really pretty sad because we know now that she supposedly killed herself. She was absent from their lives from right after everything that happened in the house.
He loves it.
And
Well, how
they
do
seem
you
to
know
all
that?
have been negatively
It's a
impacted by
twin.
that quite a
You
bit.
keep going,
So
play.
it's pretty sad to see how close she really seemed to be with all of them.
So much up there.
Go where?
Luke, you ready? Ready.
Hmm.
I'm sending down 3 buttons. You ready? I said I'm ready.
So that's kind of interesting. He saw her ghost like immediately after she would have died then. And Steven also saw her ghost, but that would have been
Well, I only got 2.
later,
must be
considerably
stuck.
later.
Maybe we can drop some other stuff to shake it loose. Like what?
This is probably what they
There's
mean
some
by the
rocks in
twin
garden.
thing.
Pretty rocks.
Right, which is the
Have
title
Ghost
of the
show me what
episode.
it
They have this twin connection.
There's something else up there. Like who? This is Nelly or Theo?
Did that voice just say
You're scared.
Clara?
No, I'm not.
Because Clara is
can tell.
Mrs.
How?
Dudley's name, if I'm
Because
remembering
I'm scared.
correctly. And there's obviously something weird about the Dudleys. I mean, her in particular, the husband seems more normal and just like a nice guy. But, I mean, she's talking all this crazy stuff about how science
Nelly's
is the only
still
thing
down
taught in
there?
school and that isn't good. And
I was right.
I don't know. She
There's
just
nothing.
gives off a like weird,
It was
creepy
probably
vibe
just
to me
Theo
personally. But I don't know.
Messing around.
Okay, yes, that was definitely Clara. That was 100% Clara. Hmm. Whenever you see one of these kids in bed at night, you know something terrible is about to happen. I'm anxious. Why does it need a cane if it's floating? Why is it so tall? Ghosts have shadows? You're just making more noise. Okay, this is sad
Tell you
because,
what,
you know,
$200 here.
it obviously, it
Hand me that
isn't
iPad.
what it looks like,
Keep the cash and sell that old camera.
which I totally didn't believe at
I need
all
the
in the
iPad.
first episode.
It stays here. And I'd get clean, you know, a week, a month. But I'd always feel it, you know, just sneaking back up on me. So I'd use. You know, my family, they're not gonna believe this. They never really believe me. I don't blame them. You know, I fucked them over so many times. Lied, stole. Like, you all know what I mean.
We've been waiting for you to call. There's something I need to tell you.
I know I fucked up, okay? But I didn't use.
He goes through all of this shit today, and now he's gotta find out that his twin is dead.
Mommy and Daddy don't believe me. Ever. They say she's a nightmare, but she's real. I know she is. I got an idea. You need 7, and you set them up like this. Why 7? Mom, Dad, Steven, Cheryl, Theo,
Aw.
you, me. It has to be 7. It helps if you touch each one and count out loud.
That's adorable.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That keeps you safe. Sometimes you gotta do it a lot. Like, a lot. Don't forget to count. 1, 2, 3.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Alright. You gotta float backwards like that?
Come home, my love.
No. This episode is really upsetting me. Like, the entire thing. Oh, God.
It's like withdrawal, but I didn't
Because
use.
she's dead.
I
He's
wasn't
feeling what
using, but
Nelly feels, but Nelly feels nothing because she's dead.
but I feel it anyway. You believe me, right? You gotta come with me. You gotta come with me, Luke. What? It's Nell. Nell's dead. How? It was suicide. Phoebe. It wasn't.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so one of them, at least, finally realizes that maybe it had something to do with the house. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, well, that was episode 4. And as I think that maybe you could possibly tell from watching me witness this and react to what I was seeing, this was a painful episode for me to watch. I thought it was really good. It might have been, probably was the best episode so far. So I'm really glad that we had the opportunity to get inside Luke's head somewhat. I'm glad that we got the backstory on his addiction, and also was glad but simultaneously felt so bad for him to find out that actually he hadn't been using when he showed up to see Steven. He was literally trying to help someone else from falling back into using. And then, of course, everything unravels and falls apart because she ends up betraying him. So that was difficult to watch, but it was really interesting and filled in a lot of gaps. And I also feel like, again, maybe the scariest moment yet out of any of the shows in this episode, with the creepy ghost guy in the old-fashioned hat sneaking up on Luke in his room with the weird cane and then following him as an adult also. I do feel like each episode there's an increasing fear factor to it. Like, the first episode I did feel was creepy, especially the scene at the end where Nelly shows up in Steven's apartment. But it wasn't overly scary or terrifying in any sort of way, in my opinion. But I feel like with each successive episode, they're really upping the scare factor. And it's only episode 4, so we'll see where it has to go from there. But beside that, I also felt like this episode was just really sad for all of the things it indicated about some of the relationships and how they were lost or broken down. I mean, when they showed, like I mentioned earlier, Olivia's kind of closeness with all of these different children and how much they depended on her, cared about her, and then you hear what Luke is saying at the end about how he was looking for her, just wishing for her, and obviously she was never gonna come back or show up. And you really have to think about how the houses taking her away really impacted all of their lives, and now how it's kind of doing the same thing with Nelly, especially for Luke, because again, you see the depth of their connection throughout this episode. So it was a great episode. It was an incredibly sad episode. And now that we've gone through all of the siblings except for Nelly, I'm assuming that she's going to be the next episode. I also saw that it's titled Bet Neck Lady, so I mean, I'm really like 99% certain that that's going to be the Nelly episode. And I really want to know what's going to show up in that episode and what's going to happen, and I want to know more about the Bet Neck Lady. So, after I finish filming this, take a quick break, I think I'm gonna come back and watch that episode immediately so I can find out what's going on. Alright, so you will likely be seeing me again very soon. So, I just want to say thank you again to everybody who's watching for joining me on this. If you have any comments, questions, anything you'd like to say, please feel free to leave them below. I like talking with people, exchanging ideas. It's fun. So otherwise, I'll just see you next time. Thank you again, and bye!